This is Cut and Dry Talent TV, featuring the best in independent music videos from around the world. Experience the latest in indie rock, pop, hip-hop, and more. It's what's happening right now on this episode of Cut and Dry Talent TV.
Welcome to the 24th episode of Cut and Dry Talent TV. I am your humble and beloved host, Chris Kalt, and today we have a very special episode. It's something that I haven't done in quite some time, about 2.5 years actually. It's an interview, and we made an exception today because a good friend of mine and a wonderful musician has come out from Amarillo, Texas to visit. He went to a very special event last night. I'll have him tell you about that. But his name is Jack Mustard of the Mustard Band, and I want to welcome him now and his cohort. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Hi. Thank you for having me today. I'm Sage Rage, aka Riff Master Rage, out of Amarillo, lead bass guitarist for Mustard.
Excellent. And obviously you know where you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jack Mustard. I play guitar and sing, and obviously passion is original music, alternative rock, metalcore, all of those genres definitely are a passion.
I got to know you, actually you were interviewed by Christina G, who is our female, one of our female hosts.
Yes.
I was kind of shooting you guys at the camera, and you were at the Artists in Music Awards in early 2014 at the John Lovitz Theater in Universal City, Hollywood.
I'll never forget that night.
Yeah.
That was my first time out in California, but it was also the first time to see all the, the glamour of the industry and all the bright lights and everything that went on that night. That was
craziness.
It was craziness, but you know what? I think everybody that went that night probably woke up the next day going, wow, there was so many people. It was so fast, but it was so fun as well.
I wanted to kind of get maybe a little bit of history on you guys.
Okay.
But tell us why you came here in the first place, and a little bit about yourselves and your friend here and your act.
Yes, sir. This is my bass, Sage. This is his first time out here as far as the music industry, so I'm obviously happy to have him. And the Artists in Music Awards, it was my first experience putting original music out. Mm-hmm. So the Artists in Music Awards, we were nominated like a month after I had released the music. I put it on the internet, and real quickly we got nominated. So as far as being new in the business, I had absolutely no idea what we were doing, or even really why we even came out, a couple years ago for the Artists in Music Awards. We were just walking by faith and just, basically just to come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience, and also, to get to meet some of the people like yourself in the industry that's, down to earth, level, just amazing guy. Those kind of people you want to, not only want to, you have respect for, but, some people you consider friends in the industry, and we definitely consider you a friend.
Yes. That's why we clicked.
Absolutely.
We got what's that, bromance they call it?
Absolutely. So when we knew when we came out here that we were gonna, be close to you, within a couple miles, we wanted to come sit down with you and say hi and talk about these awards and go from there.
Yeah. The awards you attended last night.
Yes, sir.
Where you want to tell us a little bit about that?
We got nominated November 2015 for Rock Song of the Year and then Rock Album of the Year. So we came out here to to be a part of the awards program and to support the other artists and whatnot. But really and truly, we were just excited about the awards. I put all my music up. Everything was in storage. It was just that season in my life. It was, this was probably September, October, and I got a message from a DJ in Boston. He was like, well, I really like your music. Can we play it? How come it's not out there? And I messaged back and I told him, I'm in Texas. you know, I don't know where to get it out, or even I don't have really a forum to get it out, like college radio stations and stuff like that. He said, well, you need to submit your music to the Academy Awards. You know, if you were to get that, they take a lot of the music from the playlist and begin putting them on radio stations. That's just a recommendation.
Right.
So after reading that message, I just went and did it. I put the album out, and then I put It Is What It Is, and a new song off our new album. And they both won November 2015. So it was actually a winners, but what they did is they took all the genres and put them together and had some, like for example, there was Rock Artist of the Year. So out of the 12 nominees, somebody got nominated for Rock Artist of the Year, Country Artist of the Year. They had Gospel. So there was a lot of different genres, in which we really thought was cool as well. But you know, we got to accept the award for November 2015 Rock Song and Rock Album of the Year.
Excellent. Congratulations, man.
Oh, it was exciting.
I kind of got bits and pieces of it when you were online on Facebook and stuff. But,
yes, sir.
That's great, buddy.
Thank
Excellent,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Excellent. You know, and you got to come out here too.
I was about to
that's
say,
pretty
if it's award out here, we don't care what it is. We're just coming. It does not matter.
awesome. Right on.
So yeah, we're honored to be here, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful out here. We love the people, and obviously the music industry is so overwhelming. But then also too, to jump in it feels right. It feels fun, and it's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Especially for us
how
Texas
about,
boys.
I know he mentioned that you haven't been in the industry that long, as you had mentioned. You know, you kind of walked in it green when you came out here for the Artist in Music Awards.
Yes.
You had brought a gentleman out there that year. He was kind of in the background and didn't really speak, but and now you have this gentleman here. How did you guys get together and come to be?
You take that one.
Okay, it's a long story.
Shorten it.
But it's about 5 years ago, right at a critical moment in my life where I was deciding to actually quit music. And this is an important message that as independent artists we need to put out there: never quit, just keep pushing no matter what. But I was at that point fixing to quit, and was even going to cancel the last show, but a divine force took place, I'll just put it like that, and changed my mind. And I ended up going to the show where I met Jack. And immediately I connected with him, because he's the only musician that I have seen to date that composes similarly to me and can even play the way I play. So I was like, wow, I need to work with this guy. But at that moment in time, I think in probably both our lives, it just wasn't the right time. And here recently, about 6 months ago, something like that.
Yes.
I had another pivotal, critical turning point in my life. And I just, I had basically been idle for a while, not done anything. And I just came out, and it was a crushing emotional period in my life, and the way that I could cope with it was to just get back out there with my musician buddies. A lot of them I had blown them off, and just been real negative. And as we musicians do, I mean, they just welcomed me back with open arms, right? Mm-hmm. And just did a couple of crazy at the moment shows, and then fortunately Jack said, "Hey man, if this starts going somewhere, will you play the bass for me?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And then here we are. And,
So how long you been with him now?
About 6 months.
About 6 months. Mm-hmm.
And the music is amazing. I'm working on recreating the trend with the bass, doing things that people have really not done before with the bass. And
Yeah.
it's interesting. The fans have been responding very well, I think. So yeah, I mean, I look forward to doing some recording, doing some more cool stuff like this. Coming out here, Jack spoke so highly of you. I'm glad I got to meet you. All these musicians we got to meet this weekend. It's been a phenomenal experience, and I can't wait for more of it. It's
Awesome, man.
it's just happy energy, man.
It's
Just
like It's like therapy almost, huh?
Yeah,
Almost
it
like
really
a
is.
medicine, a drug.
And I will say this about the music too. He plays the bass a lot like some of the early Metallica kind of style. The bass lines are almost like leads over the top of the rhythm guitars, whereas a lot of the rock construction you have guitars and then you put bass lines down, generic bass lines to really heavy composed guitar parts. Where as dynamic as Sage is, a lot of times he calls a lead bass, but he's putting these dynamic leads on the bass over the top of the guitars, which makes the music so amazing. But he's also really good at guitar too. So I would mention that I think. Yes, you are. But I saw him play it. What kind of music were you playing that night? What was it? Just kind of a Spanish caravan style acoustic. And
at the house.
Yeah, and I saw him
flamenco.
at a party, and my buddy Jim, he was like, "Man, this guy is amazing. You ought to just put in his ear if the music ever starts up or if the music ever takes off again.
Yeah.
See if he'll play with you, in the band." And that's pretty much. I've got my drummer Shane and my guitarist Nick. They're not here, but the same thing with them. I approached him. I just said, if it ever happens again, will you walk with me? Can we do this? Let's make a band.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen, but if it ever does, let's do it. And then. Like a month later, we got invited to play House of Blues in Dallas. They just found the Heaven and Hell, the song we were talking about a little bit ago.
Yeah.
They found it on the just for some reason out of Reverb Nation, and anybody who's listening is probably like, that's probably the first time anything good has ever came out of Reverb Nation, because there's millions of artists and you never know where it's going to go, especially when you put the music out there. But we got contacted by a booking agent from. The House of Blues, and so from there on, it's been rock and roll for
Sweet.
at least 2 or 3 months now. So,
Well, talking about music, why don't we play a video now? Now, Jack has about 3 videos, if I recall, that you have War, Ocean, which is your latest,
yes, sir.
and Dark Lit Bar.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What do you think we ought to start with?
Your choice. Dark Lit Bar is like a 80s Robert Palmer heavy rock kind of energy sound. It's one of those kind of how do you say it? It's more it's the softest song that we have, but it's kind of a parody to some of those 80s real sexualized songs.
It was power ballads and stuff.
Yeah, it was a fun song to do. Yeah. And Ocean is almost like a Pulp Fiction. It's a 4-minute basically play on what goes on in my head.
Yes.
And so
you have some pretty cool visuals in there, and I want to talk about that and the creative process of your music too.
Okay.
But how about you want to start with Dark Lit Bar?
Let's start with Dark Lit Bar. Yes, sir.
Here it is, Dark Lit Bar by the Mustard Band. We'll be right back after that.
I see your face walking in this place. It makes me want to know how it feels to take off your heels when we're all alone. Your eyes roam while you're on the phone. What's on your mind? A simple smile, stay a while. A red glass of wine. Make me wanna go down. dark lit bar. Let's go to a dark lit bar. Let's go to a dark lit bar. Make me wanna go down. Make me wanna go down. Make me wanna go down.
All right, our first video today, Dark Lit Bar by Jack Mustard. We played that, I believe, last year on one of our episodes. Very creative visuals there, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, the creative process. How do you build an album? And when you put together the music, like you talked about the bass line,
Yes.
do the other musicians contribute to that? Do they would he lay down a bass line and then you add drums or something and then work from there? Or do you write music and itself?
It's evolved, but the songs that from the In the Dark album, the Dark Lit Bar, War, Heaven and Hell, those songs I wrote, and then I took to a guy who worked with me, help evolve the music. Sometimes even playing an acoustic guitar and having him put the piano parts, which would eventually become the bass lines and some of the leads.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to work them out in depth to see where I could take the music. Okay, you got four chords, G, C, D,
Right.
D, whatever. How can you translate that into an actual work of art? Actually take it and make it music. So what I did at first was get the word. It's themed for sure. I love theme-based music. It speaks to you. It provokes an emotion in you.
So it's safe to say that your album or album songs are based on your personal experiences and personal emotions?
Yeah.
Emotions?
I think so. Dark Lit Bar. When I was in chiropractic school in Dallas, Texas, I was a rhythm guitar for a cover band, and it was kind of my observation about the superficiality of and the sexual nature of bars and how people meet and how people, how does someone walk in a bar and sit up at a counter, and then you look down and you see a beautiful girl, or vice versa, and how does that evolve from not knowing them to evolve to where there's some type of dynamic interaction. But just watching this was something that I always wanted to write about. Anyway, the chorus line is "You make me want to go down."
Right.
Well, it was originally the way I wrote it was you make me want to go down to a dark lit bar. The studio, the guy that was recording and getting everything lined out with the song, he was like, "Why don't we just take off the dark lit bar part?
Yeah.
That will highlight the song way, way more than anything you could ever say after that." So I was like, okay, the chorus line is "You make me want to go down." Obviously, none of my friends, and obviously my mom she's like, "No, you can't. You don't can't."
Yeah, you don't want to mess up Mom.
I think that's probably why I wanted to do that parody style video. The video you just played, it was over the top.
It definitely came off real well. Definitely.
We're lucky. Absolutely.
Yeah. When you put together your song and you had to convey this information to him. You know, not being a musician myself, are you able to? Do you take it for way it is, or do you kind of like make recommendations and maybe changes?
Well, we've made changes to it. In my approach as a musician, when somebody asks me to play for them, is I ask them, do you want it album tight, or do you want a little hint of sage, which is me? And because I can play it album tight and learn it exactly the way it is on the album. Cool and boring, right? To me. Now with a hint of sage, it goes a little bit better. And,
so you put a little character into it.
Yeah. So like, you know, all these recordings, obviously I wasn't a part of it. So, but on our live shows now, I think we have some videos of that. You can see how the bass lines are different now, and to me, they sound a little bit better. You know, a little bit more energetic. There's some extra stuff in there.
Right.
You know, like I said, I'm really trying to get the bass out of this little box that people have held it in for so many years. The bass is actually a very musical instrument, actually more musical than most other instruments. It's just people take it for granted now, and just, you know, play the groove, you know what I mean? And having the background that I have, fortunately, as a child, I was molded, and I got to hang out with cool, famous Tejano bands and stuff like that. Was inspired by a lot of Selena and the Dinos type of music, and you know, I was very fortunate as a child to learn all this stuff. Spanish music, Tejano music is pretty complicated, and to have learned it that young, it's, you know, really inspired me to do a lot of rock and transitioning and crossing over some of those compositions, those chords, those arrangements, which is basically kind of like jazz.
Well, with that, let's play another video.
All right.
And why don't we wind the clock back to I believe it's your first one, War. Was that your first video?
War was a song I wrote about a guy I went to high school with. He came to my cousin's funeral.
Yeah.
And so I just was talking to him, you know, before I walked out about some of his experiences, and it just made my life seem so bland. I'm like, my gosh, you're a warrior. And so this song, it's not a political song. It has absolutely nothing to do with the people who push the button. But what about the soldier in the trenches? What about that guy that has to carry the gun? What about the guy that actually has to act out the war? Once I had met this guy again, it just, within 2 weeks I had a song, and was wanting to find a studio to at least get it down so I could show my kids, you know, what my passion was. That's really all that I wanted at first, was just to get a couple songs down and say, hey, you know, your daddy was, you know, back in the day, your daddy was a musician.
It's good to not have the political stuff kind of entwined in it, which a lot of these types of songs do.
Absolutely.
So with that, we're going to play it now. This is War by Mustard. So we'll see you soon. right, ladies and gentlemen, another fine piece of work by our good buddy Jack and the Mustard Band. So, anyways, this is going to be our last segment, and we still have one video left. But I'd like to give Jack the opportunity now to maybe let us know if he's got anything big coming up, maybe some new music, if possible, shows, information like that. And then he's going to tell you guys how you can contact him. So, Jack, with that, take it away, my friend.
We just talked about this the last couple days about getting back into the studio. It's been over a year and a half since I've actually recorded, and so that I think that part is there. It's seasonal. Everybody has a season, whether it's season of life, season of music, season of writing. What I wanted to do was when the creativity came back was to start putting music down then, and so it's almost that time. The Ocean album was released about 7 months ago. So in today's time, you got to keep it rolling with music. But there's a lot of people that want to hear what these albums would sound like with Sage on the bass and with my new drummer. Obviously, it may have a little bit more of a metalcore sound, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So look for some recording in the fall for sure.
Did you shows?
We got a bunch of shows lined up this summer. Dallas.
Good.
Some Texas shows. Obviously, the fall and even the next spring would be fun to come out and play some shows. California, more of a regional type deal. So that's what we're looking at. Book some shows out here. Maybe book some shows on the East Coast as well.
Yeah. How can people get your music? And where can they find you?
You can find us on Facebook. Just searching Mustard Band would probably come
Mustard
up.
Band. Right.
Mustardmusic.net is my music site. Has a lot of music up. Has where you can purchase the songs that you like on iTunes, all that stuff. So mustardmusic.net, and then my Facebook is Facebook.com/rockmustardrock. And so thank you for asking that. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Do you have anything to sign off with, young man?
Just fun times. I can't wait to see what's going to come. We got a lot of big plans and that we're fixing to put into motion. So
The future's bright.
Future's bright. Future's very bright.
Cool, sir. All right, guys. Well, to wrap it up, we're going to close with one more video. This is your latest.
Yes.
And it's called Ocean. So the most recent one I've also played on the show. I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for coming down. I appreciate it. I mean, it was all the way from Amarillo, Texas. Congratulations on your award. And make sure you check them out. We'll put some links down the bottom in the description box so you can get a hold of them, okay? Or purchase their music. So for episode number 24 of Cut and Dry Talent TV, I'm Chris Kalt. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
It's the ocean of thoughts that sometimes invades our consciousness. A little storyline that affects our lives, perceptions, and dimensions of reality. You see, son, sometimes real, sometimes not. These whims of consciousness are the basis for our personality, and eventually the foundation at which our souls rest.
The ocean dreams dissolving clay.
God.